Morning.
Great to have you on the show as
I
usual.
like this your rhyme that you are doing. Do you write these scripts out or it just
No,
comes
I
to
don't.
you?
It just comes to me every time I see you. I'm
You're so proud.
inspired.
She's an author.
It was because of your face, but okay.
You're too proud.
Of your
Good morning,
face.
Good
Pebble.
morning, Tega.
All right. It is Smooth Breakfast with Pepple and and yeah, we've got your sports for you for the next half hour. Make sure you join the conversation. Go up on youtube.com/smooth 981 FM Lagos. We are already streaming live. Leave
Hi,
your
YouTube.
comments up on the live stream.
All right. Big stories to share with you this morning. Remember, you can also send us a message on WhatsApp 0809 You can also call us very much later on the show 0144 89981.
We need to remind him of how we keep the number closely held secrets on the locker room. Right
Okay.
up until they're ready, we are ready for them to call. Then we're like, boom, there it is.
Yeah.
And we're up on Twitter as well at Smooth981FM hashtag Locker Room 981.
All right.
All right, so hey, NFF appoints Salisu Bosso Ubade Basi to head male national teams.
Yeah.
Tega.
So
Well, the Executive Committee of the Nigeria Football Federation has approved recommendations of its Technical and Development Subcommittee for the appointment of Salisu Yusuf as head coach of the Super Eagles B, otherwise known as the Chan team, as well as the Under 23 Olympics team.
all right. So at the end of the day, Salisu Yusuf is still left over from the fallout of Nigeria Ghana. That's just what it means. It was like, okay, you know what, everybody, you guys should just go first. Let's give them a break, then come back later. As if we'll forget, like they flashed off some men in black stuff. But yeah, he's still here. So Nigeria did not qualify for the World Cup. Heads should have rolled, but it's not our head. It's not their heads. It's the heads of the Nigerian hopes that have rolled. The coaches will always have their job. Because yeah, Salisu Yusuf is back. I can't really argue about Tunduka Bade his performance so far, but just to think about the fact that they're recycling the same people. I think we want different results, but we keep the same people. So yes, they're going to announce the head coach. According to them, they're going to announce the head coach later. Their names that they've been throwing around, like Laurent Blanc, and I was just like, Laurent Blanc is coming to Africa. Okay. Okay. But
I love the quality of that.
remember
Okay.
the time that they said Jose Mourinho was going to come, they said no, it's not Jose
Wow.
Mourinho. It's somebody that Jose Mourinho recommended. So let's wait to see if this is Laurent Blanc himself or his
Or
recommendation.
recommendation.
But hey, they've not announced that. But what it is it's just the same guys, just being recycled and getting the position. Nothing, no consequences for what happened to Nigeria's World Cup ticket qualification. Sad one, but it is what it is. I can't wait for the elections to come. I remember, from NFF president saying that, he may not run again for third term, that he has to discuss with his family and his family comes first. Next thing I heard, there were whispers that he said everybody was saying he should run. I'm just like, I knew this was coming. I was waiting for the other shoe to just drop. We don't resign here.
Is it like
That doesn't happen in
an
Nigeria.
everybody or Trump everybody where he's like, if I just say everybody, yeah,
We don't know.
it'll become truth.
We don't know if it's everybody or Trump everybody. But what we
Okay.
know is that there are rumors that there may be a third term.
There you go. All right, now going into the rest of the stories for the next half hour. And Tsitsipas and Zverev coast into Monte Carlo quarterfinals. Barca stunned by Frankfurt as West Ham reach semis, whilst Klopp is relishing the heat of battle as the Reds gear up for a City rematch. And Sevilla and Real Madrid are set for an epic showdown. We'll be talking all about that. Leicester fighting back to set up semi-final with Roma, and aging Ibra out again as goal-shy Milan defend Serie A lead. And a final bit of news comes in with IU saying Leicester lost a wake-up call for Palace ahead of FA Cup semi-final.
Yep.
All right, so let's get into tennis now. And defending champion Stefanos Tsitsipas and second seed Alexander Zverev kept their Monte Carlo Masters Challenge on track with straight set wins to advance to the quarterfinals on Thursday. Now, Tsitsipas dispatched Serbian Laszlo Jere 7-5, 7-6, with second seed Zverev easing past Spaniard Pablo Busta 6-2, 7-5 in the clay court tournament.
Well, so those two are still up there. Sasha Zverev and Tsitsipas, at least they're doing a good job shining the light for the highly ranked players, because there was a time that when we saw the draws coming out, we were chatting the course, we're like 20-year-old Alcaraz will be facing Novak Djokovic somewhere in the quarterfinal. As soon as we said that, both of them fell at the first hurdle. So we are glad at least it's still, such as Zverev is still surviving, and Tsitsipas is actually playing one of his most brutal tennis. He's defending champion. He won it last year without dropping a set, and so far he's on track this year. Because in defending champion, when you step up against somebody on the court, they just want to take your scalp. And what a lovely head of hair he has, but he's managed to keep it intact. So we wait to see how he survives today's opposition. So that's good news, at least for him. For Sasha Zverev, though, it's still a little tricky. This was supposed to be his good year. After 2021 was a fantastic year, winning the Olympics, winning several Masters tournaments, but he's been shaky from Australia and then onto the off-court drama of domestic violence and then back again. So he would want to win this to just get his tennis on the front pages, as opposed to the rest
of his life.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's talk about Barca. I mean, yesterday, Barcelona were dumped out of the Europa League by Eintracht Frankfurt in the quarterfinals, while West Ham United and Rangers joined RB Leipzig in the qualifying for the last four.
Yes, so huge one for you know how people were talking so much about Xavi ball this, Xavi ball that. This is why they had to sack Ronald Koeman. This, that. Anyway, so that's how Xavi ball started yesterday at Camp Nou. They were playing the ball, Frankfurt were scoring the goals. They were playing the ball, Frankfurt scoring the goals. I think Barcelona's struggle yesterday was a lack of clinical finishing. Because they created chances as usual. They dominate possession in whether it's in Camp Nou or it's in your own stadium. They will come out to dominate possession. But yesterday, everything was wrong. Foden wasn't sharp. Aubameyang wasn't sharp. When they brought De Jong had this opportunity after Barcelona had scored their first goal to make it 3-1. De Jong had this opportunity where he just needed to put the ball in the back of the net. Like, it was harder to miss. He missed. Wow. And then they got a penalty. So it made it, and the penalty was the last kick of the game. So if he had scored his opportunity, then we'll be talking of a completely different thing. So it was a horrible night for Barcelona yesterday, because they really did play. It was like every time they played, they just looked like a bunch of amateurs, because Frankfurt were defending with their lives, and then they were going on the other end to score. So Frankfurt were the most effective team on the night. They scored most of the chances they had. Barcelona didn't, and that's why Barcelona are out. So the favorites in this tournament, especially with their recent unbeaten run, are out. Now, on the other hand, we had our three Nigerian brothers in action: Joe Aribo, Calvin Bassey, Leon Balogun, all in action for Rangers against Braga, and Rangers qualified. Just Joe Aribo with 2 assists.
But they've been doing really good work with the Rangers. So
this is what I was saying about when people say, but our players are not so fantastic. I said, no. The problem is, you see, Nigeria, in fact, football in general has gone past the day of natural talents excelling. We used to have a lot of natural talents in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. But now what we have is...
The 90s ones finally have their title.
Yeah.
Deeds.
But what we have is a lot of academy players that have been trained for particular roles. That's what football has become. Just like your agriculture, not everybody's growing everything. Some things are, helped to grow. Yeah. So it's not as natural as before. That's exactly how your football has become. And so, because of the way those players are trained, you have to find the position to play for. I was saying that the Nigerian Super Eagles that played against Ghana, I could have taken that team and they'll play brilliantly. Just play them in the right position and they'll give you the results. And so you see these players play in and out, score goals, defend well, pass the ball well when they are with their club sides, and then you
Mm.
see them struggle with their national
National
teams
team.
because they're tweaking their position, they're tweaking style, they're you're trying to make tomato be potato. It can't work.
Mm.
And that's where the problem is. So you see these guys in Rangers, brilliant, um, play beautiful football. Yes, Leon Balogun played only 30 minutes, but really, this same Joe Aribo that we were shouting at the stadium, hey, no sabi ball, and
Yeah.
Calvin Bassey,
Yeah.
you know sabi ball,
They
he sabi
played
the
very
ball,
Yes,
well
I'm
for the Rangers.
he sabi the ball.
All right, so let's get on to WhatsApp now. Where Femi sent a message. He says, "Good morning, locker room. Salisu Yusuf everywhere, as if he's the best thing after sliced
I'm
bread.
telling you.
Yet he has no record of winning anything before."
They said he took the Chan team to be runners up, so I'm just
I
telling
hope
you
see
what
my
they said.
eyes. I don't know what you want me to say to that. And Zizi Classic says Barcelona is bigger than Europa League. That's why we allowed Frankfurt to proceed to the semi-final.
You're so big that you couldn't beat Frankfurt.
Wow. And what? Okay, Crew is saying the rushing was too much for Barca. It's still they pay me. And yeah, that's it. So let's get back into the sports right now. And Jurgen Klopp says that he's relishing the heat of the battle as quadruple chasing Liverpool, prepared to face Manchester City for the second time in a week, this time in the FA Cup semi-finals.
Yes, so remember how you enjoyed last weekend and it ended 2-2? Like I said, it was going to end 2-2. I was so happy I ate that lunch. Anyway, but this time, somebody has to lose. You can't draw to the finals. They need only one team in the final. Unfortunately, this is the game that you would have expected to be a final. Like, these are the two most informed teams, Manchester City and Liverpool. Unfortunately, they have to be in the semi-finals, but they have to play like a final. And this weekend somebody has to lose. I think both coaches looking at that match, Liverpool would say, we didn't play very well, but we managed to draw. Manchester City will say, we played very well and we still drew. Because Manchester City were clearly the better team on the day. Liverpool was just the more effective team on the day.
But do you have predictions for this weekend?
No, I will.
You'll not put that
I will
out
check
yet.
my oral glass when Nepa brings time. But that's not it.
So basically never. Wow.
I didn't say that. You said that.
I'm just saying.
But it's a tough ask. I would say if Liverpool just plays a little better, because I saw the best of Manchester City against Liverpool, and it was only still good enough for a draw. So I'm just thinking that if Liverpool played a little better than they did last weekend, maybe just moved a gear above, it could be a Liverpool final day at the end of the day. But hey, things can happen. Manchester City had a really tough match this week, while Liverpool were cruising to their win against. Well, they drew against Benfica in the end, but they didn't need it because they had already done the job in the first leg. But Manchester City had to play extra because they hadn't finished the job, and Atletico Madrid were the ones pressing at the Wanda Metropolitano. So Man City played physically they were drained, emotionally they were drained because there was a fight after, and the players didn't leave the locker room for about an hour after the match because of security reasons. Because Savage was ready to take out Jack Grealish's hair, like he was ready to take it out strand for strand. So security had to come in.
Have they had enough time to restore themselves?
So that's my point. So they drained physically, they drained emotionally. Then that they travel to Spain, so they're going to come back. They're going to have to try to recover. They look like they want the team on the back foot. So if you ask me, I'd say Liverpool has an advantage even before the match starts. But on the day, it's Wembley Stadium. Anything can happen. However, also you have to think of the fact that they took off Kyle Walker, took off Kevin De Bruyne during the match, and that brings a little question about those key players' fitness. And then you're now asking them to play a big game against Liverpool and expecting results. It's a little dicey for Manchester City. Liverpool just look like they have advantage, and so I'm thinking Liverpool in the final.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be back with more sports inside the locker room. Send your messages in across the 3 platforms: WhatsApp, Twitter, and YouTube.
Just music. It's
Guys,
smooth music.
It was what happened?
if Liverpool wins,
What
we're
happened?
not going to finish hearing the word inside my church.
Your
Your pastor
is a
will come
Liverpool
onto
fan.
the pulpit with his Liverpool shirt. He will start dashing out Liverpool shirts to everyone.
Podri.
It doesn't play with Liverpool.
No, but Liverpool look like. I mean, think the
See,
fight that happened
even our
after.
left back. He was,
It was-
he came to dash. You're my friend. Take a Liverpool shirt.
Are you serious? I
Really?
mean, collect one for me. I don't even need one.
Really? He was giving it to some of his guests that came.
Yes. On the
That's
stage,
fun,
he
Lord.
was like,
Hey, Liverpool, you're a good club.
I was like, wow,
Maybe he's praying.
this Liverpool.
Because no, but they do have their part. Manchester City suffered on Wednesday, and they beat them physically, as well as tried to beat them on the pitch. It was a horrible day.
Let me just check. All right, guys, send your messages in on the live stream.
So it's going to
In on
be.
the live stream. Just
It's going to
check on
be-
the live stream.
So it's going to be a little tough to say Manchester City will win. I don't know that they will. But what's my own? My own is to buy puff puff and small soft drink and be watching the match. I won't choke because I have no I have no heart in the ring.
You have no skin in the game, man. So we've been getting this message in. So this person sent in a message in response to something. I said, hi. You know, we're in the shows. I was like, okay, waiting for more. But apparently that was all. Because he now sent a message in how many minutes later. Why won't you respond to my message?
Does he think it's a personal?
I was like,
I will still will respond.
I'm
Then he goes, I'm a
a
musician.
musician.
Wait, does he think it's a personal phone?
We're waiting for more. I don't know what he thinks.
And what people tell me that hi, I just leave the message.
As soon as you say hi to me, I'm not responding to your
Because
message.
your message
I'm
should
like,
be, hi,
don't waste my time.
my name is Mponam from, you know,
What?
Mponam from Okorodudu. You know, just I want to just tell me. If I look at through it and I say, oh, it's a reasonable, okay,
Simple.
this person, he wants this. Oh, I don't have it, or oh, I have it. You get a response.
But you can't be
But
telling
you
me
can't just say
hi.
hi. You will hi yourself. There.
Oh, the one time that I took somebody's hi, because I knew her name from somewhere,
Okay.
from another group I was in. She said hi. Me too. I now said, okay, Chopin. It goes against my principles. That's why you should never go against your principles. Me too. I said, oh, hi. What's up? How can I help? 2 weeks later, she sent me a message. Oh, sorry, I didn't get back to you. I was like,
Okay. Me too. I will get back to you in 2 weeks.
we'll be there. I got back to her 3 months later. I can't kill myself. Studio. And we are back for more Inside the Locker Room. And we see your messages up on WhatsApp. I wonder, Cruz, it's quite interesting because you're watching on YouTube, then you send messages in on WhatsApp. And
No,
I'd
that's
love to know
cool.
what goes on.
I like the use of
Yeah.
those platforms.
Yeah. It's quite interesting. All right, so let's get into those messages. Going up on WhatsApp, we have this one in. Emeka from Amuro says, I was watching the Barca game and I realized the Frankfurt player, Lindstrom, that won the Frankfurt penalty has a striking resemblance to Bayern's Thomas Müller. Even in the Europa League, Bayern is still somehow tormenting Barca. As for Aubameyang, it's like his village people have followed him to Barca.
No, now because he didn't score yesterday. Now it's village people. Abba mana.
Well, Big E from Ketu says Sotega is right all along about Barca. Barca just played so poor yesterday, but I'm expecting Rangers or West Ham to take the win.
And Cruz saying, this is going back to YouTube banter on youtube.com/smooth981fm Lagos. And he goes on to say, oh, I'm hoping Man City can do the Lord's work. And Taya saying, out of all the people in the church,
Shakwe be happy that he's giving you Liverpool jersey, the sermon on that oh my goodness. Okay. All right, so let's go with the stories now. There is a huge game at the top of the La Liga table with leaders Real Madrid visiting Sevilla FC. Tega.
Yes, so Sevilla play Real Madrid today. Normally, this weekend. And normally it would be a huge fixture, but there's 12 whole points between both teams. And yes, if Sevilla does win, what they can do is really help Barcelona. not necessarily themselves. Because if you
Mhm.
shave it down to 9 points, it's still 3 whole games to try and hope that Real Madrid will drop. So if they do win, what they'll do is shaving the points down for Barcelona, who play on Monday against Cardiff, to try and close the gap even more. But Sevilla will just have to do the job, especially if you remember that Lopetegui, the coach of Sevilla, was the coach of Real Madrid. So he has extra skin in this game. Like,
Mhm.
I just want to show that I really could coach. People fired me too soon. He wants to make a case for himself. Unfortunately, since he was fired by Real Madrid, he hasn't been able to beat them.
Ah,
So maybe this weekend is the weekend. That he gets back his pound
Let's
of
see what
flesh.
happens.
Maybe.
He gets his pride back.
Maybe.
But it's going to be a tough ask. Also for Sevilla, because they're also struggling with their form. Their form is a little erratic. It's up and down, as opposed to Real Madrid, that even sometimes even on a bad day, they get the results they need. So think Chelsea, Real Madrid on Tuesday. It was a bad day for Real Madrid, but they are still through to the semis. So that team just always finds a way to get what they need, regardless of how they perform. For Sevilla, in order for them to get the results that they need, they generally have to play a lot better, and
Mm.
they're not in that place right now. So it's a tough ask, but because it's a top of the table clash, hey, it's exciting for anyone who wants to watch. On the other hand,
Why do I get the feeling that Real Madrid is going to walk away from this saying, we made the right choice? I
again,
just get that feeling. That's all.
my
All right.
opportunity is gone.
And Leicester battled back to beat PSV Eindhoven 2-1 on Thursday in the Europa Conference League to reach a European semi-final for the first time in their history, where they will face Jose Mourinho's Roma.
This is their level. Apparently, they finally found their level. Europa wasn't it, and Champions League certainly wasn't it. But Europa Conference League, that's their level.
It's looking like it.
Well, but it wasn't easy, because at some point PSV did look like they were the ones going to go through it, because they scored the goal early in the first half, and they were still leading up until the 78th minute, when I'm sure Leicester was already beginning to lose hope, and then Madison did his thing, and then Ricardo scored the second goal, and got them through. But yes, they found a place that's comfortable for them, and they're looking really good in this tournament. Unfortunately for them, they face a certain Jose Mourinho, and Roma, which is tough for anybody, because they are now asking Brendan Rodgers to outthink Jose Mourinho. Because sometimes it doesn't really just come down to the players on the pitch, it also comes down to the man on the side of the pitch. And that's where Roma would say they have a leg up on them. Because you look at Roma against Bodo Glimt, and I like what Jose Mourinho said. Jose Mourinho said, "Oh, we're always a better team. It just took us 4 tries to show it." I was like, "You don't say." But yes, Bodo Glimt had been their a thorn in their flesh this season. And they'd met 3 times before, and Bodo Glimt had won twice, and they drew once. But yesterday they left no room for doubt, because 3 goals in the first half. That game looked already dead. Could have been
Wow.
6, could have been 7. But at the end of the day, Roma scored 4. They're through to the semis. Now they take on Leicester City. The thing they do not want to do is play Leicester City in the first leg like they played against Bodo Glimt, because Leicester is just a better quality team than that, and so it may be a struggle. But yes, I'm not expecting that Brendan Rodgers will outthink Jose Mourinho. I'm not.
I love Jose Mourinho. That's all
I
know.
love him. It's like every time someone thinks he's finished, he just comes back with something.
And
Let's
with
see
the
what
attitude
happens.
to match.
Exactly.
Now, Ibrahimovic is once again out of action for AC Milan. The striker falling victim to the latest in strings of injuries as the Serie A leaders battle with a goal-scoring problem ahead of Friday's match with Genoa.
Yes, so today is the day. Both Milan teams are in action this weekend. It's really a good Friday. Both Milan teams are in action this weekend. So Inter Milan takes on Spencer, and AC Milan takes on Genoa, which is, if you look at the two oppositions, this is a tougher team. And then to add the fact that AC Milan are not scoring yet, they have Leao to sometimes who drops in a goal, Olivier Giroud to drop in a goal, but those goals are few and far in between. And last weekend they could have done with even one goal. Unfortunately for them, they didn't score, and they're struggling to score. They're creating chances, but they're not putting the ball in the back of the net, and that's where the problem against Genoa would be. And to think that Inter Milan are breathing down their back, and Inter Milan will be playing what would look on paper as lesser opposition. It's a tough ask for them, but they really want to win this Scudetto. And I've seen Pioli and his men win matches that people thought they would struggle with after a few matches of poor results. So I don't expect that they will do differently. I think they're going to forget about the other game, forget about the fact that they don't have Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and they're just going to try and go for the win against Genoa today. For Inter Milan, on the other hand, things seem to be going their way. There was a time that they were in a bit of a moment, but they've come out of that moment, and today's opposition will just help them solidify, especially as they're within touching distance of their rivals. If nothing gingers you, at least rivalry gingers you. So I think that's where Inter Milan are right now.
Oh, and we've already got a message in about Ibrahimovic. So let's take the story before we get to you, Olufemi. Or rather, let's take the message
now.
Ibrahimovic is over 40 years. You would expect AC Milan to be more pragmatic in their chase for the Scudetto in about a decade. And moving on now, Jordan Ayew believes that Crystal Palace's defeat by Leicester will act as a wake-up call ahead of their FA Cup semi-final with London rivals Chelsea. Ayew told Palace's website, "It's a wake-up call for us to know the importance for us to have a really good start of the game and to build on that."
Yes, so Chelsea, after the heartbreak this week, I don't know what is more heartbreaking, that they actually went there to do the work and they still lost. Can you imagine? Struggling to overcome a deficit, leading by 3-0, seeing the finish line, and just as you're about to cross it, one Shoni Mila-Wibo just dives across the line and says, "I tripped," and takes the goal from you. It's a tough ask for Chelsea.
The build-up was real.
Yeah, but the psychological hill they are going to have to overcome to try and take another battle. But they're going to have to do it because the FA Cup is a chance for them to get their hand on silverware this season. So they face the Crystal Palace that got on a high by beating Arsenal and then went back down to a low by losing to Leicester City. So they're trying to find their moments. Patrick Vieira, I would say, has done a good job with this crop of players, and they're looking good and they're solid. And they're trouble for any team, especially a team like Chelsea that's already, jaded. I think that's the word that I'll use, because 1 minute they are beating Southampton 6-0. The next minute they are crying at the Bernabeu that they're out of the Champions League. So they are a bit jaded, but and Crystal Palace can take advantage of that, but they also are not in a good place. So if you look at this tie, you'd say because of the quality of the players and maybe the manager, that it is advantage Chelsea. But hey, it's a London derby and anything can happen. So the second leg of the FA Cup, whoever wins again, Manchester City versus Liverpool, will be playing Chelsea versus Crystal Palace. And if you ask me, the Blues would want to be the ones in the final.
And Olarawaji up on youtube.com/smooth981fm. Lagos says Liverpool seems to have an advantage going into this weekend game, but City is very good and this is Wembley. It can go either way.
Oh, yes.
And on WhatsApp, Tayo says Tammy is shining under Mourinho, but for some odd reason, Tuchel didn't want him. Chelsea always looking outside for something that's already inside.
I want to say, though, that if Romelu Lukaku were with Mourinho, he'd be the one scoring 28 goals. And on that note, I drop my mic.
Literally, just dropped it now. Okay, so make sure you catch at Tega Supreme on Twitter and at LIS International across social media platforms, Instagram and Twitter. Coming up, it is going to be Lagos Talks for a Friday, for a Good Friday. We'll tell you the topic in just a bit.
Every song you play, every dance you dance, I'm going home.